Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to Adam's Quest. We are now officially on the 99th episode of Adam's Quest, which means the big 100 is just around the corner now. And judging by how our tribe progressed in the previous episode, I think today is going to be pretty interesting. We have bearyenas in our midst after all, but we also have our little bandit queen. Sairi was actually born in the ocean waves, and I feel like it was her mother's selfishness, that selfish desire to stay here with her children, that eventually drew the bandit brothers' eye. It definitely seems like Sairi is influenced by them, and I feel like she's going to end up being a pretty selfish character too. She's actually already proven it with those bluebird feathers of hers. She's keeping them tucked very, very close to her heart. It's kind of the only thing that connects her to her parents after all, so she doesn't want anybody else trying to steal them. She refuses to even show them to her brother, even though I feel like Kurovan wouldn't even try to take them away. He seems a lot more like his father to me, very kind and perceptive, but he just wants to be connected to his ancestors too. That's why he was turning his attention to this bluebird, who we figure is probably the spirit of Scylla. And how fitting too that she's swooping overhead the other side of the bearyena family. I feel like she came over here just to get a closer glimpse of the grandson that she didn't get the chance to meet. Technically they're not related by blood, but since she did attempt to adopt the bearyena, I feel like she would still consider this baby to be her grandson anyways. But we should probably go take care of the bearyena first. This is going to be Beowulf's very first stand against bearyenas. It almost seems as if Anameme is trying to challenge him and him alone. I wonder if maybe that's because his path felt like it was so vague to him. His mother, after all, had named him in honor of Vankir, and he is definitely not a collecting baby, so he wasn't sure how he was ever going to live up to her expectations. But this might be a good way to prove her wrong. So I feel like Raveneye would definitely go lurching into this battle. She probably thinks that she needs to defend her baby alone, so she'll jump over here, maybe try to attack the bearyena from behind. But she is getting rather old herself, so she's already run out of energy. She just can't finish this bearyena off for him. But she's going to discover quite quickly that she doesn't even need to. Beowulf should be able to take it down entirely. And that is going to really wake up Raveneye. Maybe she would realize that she was wrong to plead to Vankir for somebody to collect these coconuts and these berries. He has been blessed instead by a different deity, the goddess of war. So perhaps he could travel the island as her champion. In fact, if he could manage to find some more bearyenas to hunt down, that would be a pretty good way for us to increase our food supplies again. So maybe that's what they're going to discuss overnight. And Kurovan, I wonder if we could bring you over there to pick up the meat? We might want to have you stay here for just one more turn to pick up all of these berries. He's definitely able to with his nimble fingers, and he's one of the few who won't get harmed by it thanks to his poison fangs. Sairi unfortunately isn't quite the same. While she does have the nimble fingers for the coconuts and the shells, that's what she's going to have to stick to. Oh, she could have come over here to pick up the meat. Well, that would have been awfully fitting if our little bandit queen ended up swiping it instead. But I guess we'll bring her back down into the waves. She should be safe now that she has 2 gems to her name, but she still has the purring magic on too. Yeah, I feel like she would just be super connected to the ocean anyways, even though she doesn't have a way to breathe underwater, of course. This is where she was born, so there has to be some sort of connection there. Oh, and speaking of connections, Spook, you are still being stalked by the piranha? They are not happy that you are in their ocean. I guess we'll have him grab that shell. Yeah, it's almost like the bandit brothers are trying to stop him from grabbing all their shells or something. I guess he's not in the good graces of the bandit brothers. You would think that he would be because he kind of follows their ways too. He's like a little pirate king. But I guess they only have room in their hearts for one bandit on this island. I feel like Brightheart is starting to lose hope a little bit too. She was really hoping that her mate would come back to see their little baby, of course, but she doesn't see him anywhere in the ocean. So she's starting to think that maybe he's not going to find her before she passes. I feel like she would try to urge Treasure to go find him instead. Maybe we'll have him flop into the water next to his big brother. Oh, and Sunslash. You are going to have to guard this baby with your life. That bluebird is looking very, very curious. Maybe if we move him over here, though, he could try to crack open the shell for you. I suppose we could have Brightheart come on down here and do the same. Yeah, we'll see if you guys can grab it. It's almost like the bluebird is actually trying to lead you toward it in a way. She is hovering directly over this morsel, so it must be important to your story. I suppose it could even be one of Treasure's trinkets. Once he grows his second gem, he'll be able to come over here and scoop it up with his nimble fingers. Maybe that's why Silas' spirit was so interested in this baby. It wasn't because she wanted to steal him away, but she just wanted to guide him in the right direction for food. She knows what the tribe really needs right now. Now I wonder what we could do for our little Dragonfly family. Do you think there's anywhere that they could go a bit deeper into the swamplands? I mean, Seasong probably wouldn't be too interested. I'm sure he would want to stay by the water. But it does look like there might be a pathway over here by the trees. Yeah, this path isn't blocked by thorns. So maybe they could come this way to get to the tide pools. Oh no, we have another leech down here. Oh no, our resident leech magnet, Raveneye. Do not tell me you're going to pick up that leech. She's way, way too tired to run away from it. Well, as we move Seasong down the stream, is it getting closer? Oh, Raveneye. At least she has Beowulf to keep her safe, now that she knows exactly how strong he is. But hopefully he's not going to end up being just as big of an attraction to the leeches as she is. Oh my gosh, how many leeches has she actually attracted in her lifetime? Like, I swear, she has to hold the record in our tribe for the most leeches ever. So I do feel like Sand Dragon is probably going to want to follow his father, but I'm not so sure about Meadow Hawk. We already know that Meadow Hawk isn't very confident in his own abilities. He is very, very timid, much more so than his little brother Sand Dragon. But I feel like if Sand Dragon is going to leave, he's probably going to end up dragging Meadow Hawk along with him. So I wonder if we could have Sand Dragon hop over here. It looks like he's safe to cross that stream. Yeah, we could literally have him just like drag Meadow Hawk over to the other side of these thorns. That way the two can try to find some more food to eat. If they could find some full berry bushes. Ooh, the crabbits are back. See, this is what I expected Silas' spirit to go to, but I wonder if perhaps that's Sunstone instead, since he has also been trapped here by Silas' selfish wishes. Maybe that's Sunstone trying to guide his family over to the ports. Well, we should be out of turns now. We just have Seasong back here, and we might as well have him pick up the grass, that way his kids won't get lost. And then we'll be ready to skip the day again, and hopefully see if the bearyenas decide to stay away this time. It looks like everybody's okay. Brightheart did unfortunately pass away. We'll have to see if somebody could maybe bury her. But first things first, let's have Beowulf come over here to grab that leech off of his mother. Somebody's going to have to lick her wounds too. In fact, she probably should have been the one who moved. Let's bring her over here so she doesn't attract any piranhas, of course. She can pick up that meat, and then we'll have Kurovan toddle his way over to lick her wounds for her. I feel like that would be very fitting of his character. He's much more selfless than his sister anyways. Actually, is that purring magic still on her? Nope, it looks like it may have faded. So this would be the perfect time for her to scoot on up here, so Raveneye can purr for each and every one of these babies. She never imagined that she would be taking care of such a huge brood, of course, but I feel like she's going to fall into the role pretty well. So with Brightheart gone now... Oh, Scylla! Interesting how she's literally guiding these babies right over to their father, or right over to Treasure's father at least. I mean, we thought that she was going to help her babies, but I guess she's really leaving that up to Sunstone instead. But Treasure still needs to listen to your other words of wisdom, which include this shell over here. So let's bring him to this tile so we can scoop that up, and then we'll have Sunslash maybe hop down the shore. He can move much more easily when he's in the water like this, so he can just light up the way for his little brother. And I'm sure by now he's probably noticed Spook lingering on the shores. Thankfully, it seems like the piranhas may have gone away. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if that's because of all of the commotion on the other side of the island. Maybe they caught a whiff of the leech's last meal. Well, that gives Spook a pretty good opportunity to rest. In fact, if we bring him over here, he should be able to gather up that last coconut. And then I guess on the next turn, we'll see if Treasure can splash his way all the way to this palm tree. I have a feeling he probably can. He's actually the best at swimming in this entire tribe thanks to all of those swimming genes. The water body, the tail fin. He is going to make for an excellent little mermaid. So can we bring the babies over to this new pathway seesaw? If we scoot you on over here, hopefully they'll be able to jump the gap. I definitely know that Sand Dragon can. He is ready and willing. But Meadow Hawk, oh, he's a little bit too timid. I think it's actually going to take him an extra turn. I don't really want to settle him down inside that water. I feel like he would probably end up getting just like swept away by the currents if we left him there. So we'll set him up where his brother was before, and he'll try his best to paddle across on the next turn. That leaves Seasong to carve the pathway ahead. I guess he's going to stumble directly into Raven Eye. Oh, do these two know each other? You know, if I remember correctly, I think it was actually Seasong who taught Raven Eye how to swim in the oasis. He was out catching his clown koi, and then he happened to cross paths with Raven Eye. That was right before she met the bearyena. Oh, that's going to be a nice reunion, and their families can even play together too. I wonder if they'll find a little bit of solace in each other in their old age. Their Muty genes are compatible, so we could have them breed. And as you guys have pointed out, we are running a bit dangerously low on females right now. After Raven Eye passes away, it's just going to be Sairi. She is going to be the last lady standing. Naturally, I'm sure that's going to influence her character too. And if we do find any other female wanderers out here, I wouldn't be surprised if she wants to just take them under her wing. Maybe she'll even form a group of just all female pirates. That'll be her little band of thieves. I could definitely see that. She would make sure that the ladies all stick together. Oh, and we have a second bluebird now. It looks like you're going to be competing for attention in the skies pretty soon, Scylla. Maybe it would be a good idea for Treasure to go diving deeper into the water. That way these bluebirds don't get any ideas. And look how far he can swim. Yeah, he could actually jump like straight over to his father's side, and I feel like you would recognize him pretty easily. I'm sure that Brightheart gave him the rundown of our little Halloween baby. There's not really anybody else on the island who looks just like him. So at least you get to spend your father's final day picking up coconuts and whatnot. You know, I honestly feel like this carefree lifestyle of Spook's would really influence Treasure, especially because he's coming into contact with it at such a young age. Like, he probably thinks this is the life. They have coconuts aplenty out here, they have fish to scoop up, and they do have the occasional wandering piranha, but they're no problem as long as the leeches don't get involved. I wonder what Sunslash would think of that. Like, as an outsider in the situation, I feel like he would be a little bit more cautious. He can see that Spook might be leading his little brother down a bit of a dangerous path, and he's not too impressed with his ways. I love the huge difference in size between them two. Like, Sunslash is absolutely massive. That big body of his makes him look absolutely menacing. And then we have tiny little Treasure just swimming around like a minnow in the ocean. You really wouldn't think that these two are related at first glance. But I guess with that golden fur of theirs, that kind of connects them to each other's families. So is everybody safe back here? No more bearyenas for us to go after? Just that crabbit again. Maybe it is actually time for Beowulf to investigate that area. We'll have him go out and search for more bearyenas, of course. And perhaps this crabbit is guiding him in the right direction. Yeah, let's bring him all the way over here, right up against the ports too. That way he can sniff around in those thorns. It looks like there's actually a gigantic barrier blocking us from all the darkness, so this would be a pretty good place for a bearyena to call home. I wonder if perhaps that is the bearyena's lair? I guess Beowulf is going to be the first one to find out. Of course, Kurovan can't help but worry. He doesn't like the thought of one creature, no matter how strong, going out to fight the bearyenas alone. So, even though he doesn't have that much power on his side, I feel like he's still going to stick pretty close. We'll have him just gather up those last few berries, and then maybe try to follow in his shadow. He would have to be very, very cautious, of course. He doesn't want him to know that he's lurking, because he doesn't want Beowulf to think that he doesn't believe in him. There are more dangers to the swamplands than just the bearyenas, after all. And unfortunately, Beowulf doesn't have the big stinky tail, so that means he wouldn't be protected from Mulberry's misfortune. He would be a little bit more vulnerable to those negative thoughts that he spreads, that leaves him sleeping in the grasses. So Kurovan is just going to be like the support in this case, somebody to keep our little champion's spirits high. So Raven Eye, if we bring you all the way over here, maybe you would be able to light up the way for Seasong? She is going to be so shocked to see him again, especially so far away from the water, but I suppose that's why he's coming down here in the first place. So go ahead and pick up all of this grass for him, that way he should be able to lead his family safely. Oh, talk about leading your family! Sand Dragon! You can jump all the way down here? Oh, he must have seen all of those coconuts. He's probably like, yes, this is paradise. This is what I've been waiting for. He can crack all of those open with his cracker jaw, and I'm sure that's exactly what he's going to do as soon as he has a little bit more energy. Now, Meadow Hawk, you've grown up? That's good, so you have a little bit more energy to use too? Oh my goodness, and he's even faster than his little brother? He could jump all the way down here as well? I mean, that was a mighty leap, from the water straight down to the shores. I think we have you all wrong, Meadow Hawk. You have some pretty excellent abilities of your own. You just have to believe in yourself. Shy as he is, though, I feel like he would want to skitter off somewhere else. Like, he doesn't like being the center of attention like this. So maybe he would jump way over here. That way he's still in the grasses. But of course that lands him directly next to our bandit queen, who is very, very busy picking up her coconuts. I'm not sure if she would be too happy to see somebody lurking around her home like this, especially if he gets it in his head that he can steal their food. Oh, and look at those berries just ripe for the taking. Yeah, I think that's going to be on his mind next, so they're going to have to come up with a little truce of some sort. But yeah, let's bring Seasong down here. That way he can catch up with his old friend again. And perhaps they could even consider having a couple of kids before they get too old. Yeah, they have plenty of time. In fact, I think their mutation menus are even set up. Raven Eye has one extra slot, but I'm not really sure if we want to mess with her genetics too much. I mean, I would love to see those antennas pop up on some of their babies. We really need to find a good pairing to bring those antennas out in full. A lot of creatures are carrying them in their inactive traits now, but of course we do need the females to pass them along too. So we'll leave Seasong right by her side overnight, and then I think we should be ready to skip the day again. Hopefully we'll find some wanderers pretty soon. I wonder if anybody is lurking out there in the darkness. Maybe they've all spawned on the other side of the island. I mean, we have such few tribe mates in our midst right now, I would expect that somebody is going to spawn pretty soon. Usually the game likes to balance out the numbers if they're too skewed. But it looks like all is quiet in the swamplands again, and we're down to 9 creatures now. So, Kurovan, maybe it would be a good idea for you to follow after Beowulf after all? Ooh, it looks like you're catching the attention of a leech. So if we bring Beowulf over this way... Oh, he actually found a nest over here, right next to the ports again too. Oh, I wonder if that's what you were trying to show us, little Crabbit. Very, very interesting. I love seeing nests so close by because that means we could have a pretty quick, like, emergency baby if we needed to. And they wouldn't have very far to travel at all. But it also could mean that your suspicions were correct, and this might just be the lair of the bearyenas. So let's have him sniff around as he goes deeper. And of course we'll bring Kurovan right up to the shores. It looks like you do actually have some poison berries in this darkness to pick. So I guess at the very least you can offer up those morsels as a tasty little snack. That way you guys will have something to eat. Now I did see that we have a root back here too, but unfortunately that role would go to you, Kurovan. So I guess you're not really going to be holding up your father's role after all. I wonder if that's why there's so much activity on this island, so many unsettled souls. And of course, Adam as well. I'm sure he's not too happy that their ancestors aren't being properly taken care of. Well, as we figured, now is a pretty good time for Sand Dragon to go ahead and scoop up all of those coconuts. We could even bring him over here to pick up the one right underneath the Crabbit. I wonder if perhaps this Crabbit might be dazed. It seems like he may have gotten hit on the head by a coconut, so once again the Crabbit's plans have been thwarted. Now it should be a good time for us to hopefully breed Sea Song and Raven Eye. We could have them set up a nest right along the shore too. I wonder if their babies are going to be particularly good swimmers. I wouldn't be surprised, especially with the way their parents met. It would be a really fitting way to honor that memory. Now, Sairi, it looks like you've grown your third and final gem too. So we'll go ahead and change the middle one over to the orange color of your family. And then you two are going to have to work out the terms of your agreement. If you're going to allow Meadow Hawk to scoop up all of those poison berries, I'm betting you want your fair cut of the food too. So greedy Sairi is going to demand that he gives her half of all of his food, and then Meadow Hawk will be free to claim the space as his own. He could clear out all of this grass and turn it into a true home for his future family. I believe all we have left to do is move Treasure and his brother Sunslash around. And you know, I think Sunslash is going to drag you right out of the water, Treasure. We'll scoot you on up here and then back to dry, solid land, where he can keep a much closer eye on you. I didn't realize that we had quite so many berry bushes back here, though. You've kind of dragged him like straight into a feast. That's probably not helping your case either. He probably figures that his father wanted him to find this little treasure trove, of course. So it's going to be very difficult for you to convince this guy to move. I suppose we could always cut the berry bushes down. Maybe once we're ready to leave, once Treasure has picked every last one of these berry bushes clean, that's when Sunslash can just put an end to it, slash down the berry bush so he doesn't have a choice but to leave. Oh no, and our clown koi. Oh, is that the very same one that we found when we landed on this island? It probably is, because it is super close to its stream. Well, that's kind of sad. Even the clown koi are passing away now. I guess we've been here longer than we thought. Well, we should be ready to skip the day again. So let's see if hopefully Raven Eye is going to be lucky enough to have a daughter. Yes, there we go. Oh, she is adorable. And it looks like she brought the rain along with her too. Kind of fitting because she has that gloomy gray fur. Oh, and all of those muddy spots just like her brothers. Well, just like we were doing for Sea Song's family, I think we're going to name her after some type of bug. In fact, we'll name this little baby Damselfly. It's nice to see that she does in fact have the antennas in her inactive traits too. So hopefully that means that she'll pair up well with one of the other males. Now, I'm pretty sure that I heard a growl. So where did the bearyenas spawn? Oh no, back here with you, Treasure. Oh, of course, this treasure trove would not go unguarded. Rather unfortunate that it's not near our champion, though I wonder if that's the point. Maybe this is Anameme's way of showing that Sunslash would be the other half of her champions. Sunslash is Beowulf's half-brother after all. He's pretty strong too, not quite as strong as Beo is. But we might as well give it a try. I'm sure with Treasure's help, they should be able to take it down. So 14 days in his lifespan, we'll have Treasure go ahead and land in his attack, and then the rest is going to go to Sunslash. There we go. So just like Beowulf, with a little bit of help from your family, you were able to conquer a pretty mighty challenge. So that leaves Treasure with enough energy to pick up a little bit more of the berries. Wait a second though, he is sitting directly inside this mud puddle. Maybe we should scoot him over here instead. He doesn't have any ability to ward off Mulberry's misfortune. He's been pretty positive up until now, so I would hate to see him suffer. But I suppose eventually he's going to have to mourn the passing of his father. Oh, actually, I just realized too, since he passed beneath the waves, he's going to be stuck here just like Silent Sunstone. I don't know if we could say that that was a particularly selfish choice. I mean, he was pretty selfish in general. He was always just like floating away from his families, going wherever the wind took him. So yeah, I guess in the end he was just as selfish as Scylla. Well, no matter what, it's nice to see that we have another female to welcome into our folds. Another female for Sairi to welcome into her fold, perhaps. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she just swoops this little baby right off her feet. They could go traveling the island together, searching for perhaps more females to add to their ranks. Like, there has to be somebody out here, right? Especially now that the snails are spawning on the trees again. Surely somebody's going to come sniffing around for extra food. Our tribe has quite a bit of the resources locked down at this point. Meadow Hawk with all of his berries. We have coconuts aplenty over here, of course. There has to be somebody. Oh my gosh! No way! Oh, somebody indeed with the beautiful antennas. Oh my gosh, that is just what I was waiting for. Malossi, your antennas are gorgeous. Oh, I haven't seen those since Whale Island. Yes, Beowulf, you have to invite her to the tribe. Though with that digging paw of hers, I wonder if perhaps she would be a bit more receptive to Kurovan. Maybe we should bring him a bit closer? Yeah, she's a little bit skittish, and that's what I was worried about. Let's bring Beowulf over this way, just so we know that she won't escape. Did you hear that? I think she might have picked something up down there. Maybe she dug up some of the worms? Well, let's bring Kurovan over here. Okay, she was picking up fish. Well, you're a pretty lucky critter, aren't you? She doesn't have any claws to her name, but she was able to steal our fish nonetheless. We'll go ahead and invite her to the tribe. Little Malossi, oh my gosh, you are adorable. I can't wait to introduce her to some of our tribe mates. Not only does she have a pretty gorgeous mask, but those antennas are going to be a great way for us to breed that into our tribe once and for all. It'll be even more important once we go to the mountains, because she should be able to tell us when it's about to snow. With the lack of cold resistance that our tribe has right now, we are going to have to be very, very vigilant on these mountains. Our tribe is going to have to stick together like they never have before if they want to survive at all. So Malossi and her oracle powers are going to be an excellent addition. So in the next episode, our 100th episode of Adam's Quest, we'll be introducing our very first oracle to Adam's family. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!